Thank you, President Bustamante Adams. And so first things first, congratulations to the entire board, not only the president, but your selection and your decision modeled for all of us how we can acknowledge our differences and still reach common ground. Your I feel weird. They're behind me and I'm talking about them. So please know that if we were faced a different way, my eyes would be definitely on you. But your deliberations showed our differences. And at the same time, us being all alike, making sure that we lean in and do what's best for students and that we can come together. I want to express my gratitude to students, parents, the staff, the entire community for working through this entire process together and providing the board input on what you would like to see in the next superintendent. A last thank you goes to our elected officials in Carson City, our legislators and the governor. They are the ones that provide the resources for us, our students in the Clark County School District, as well as holding us accountable for the work that we do each and every day. I first started working in the Clark County School District 35 years ago as a teacher at Von Tobel Middle School, and I would have never guessed that I would be standing here as the superintendent for this amazing district. We're going to be working together, as the president noted, on student success and lifting everything up. But before all of the questions that I know you have, the road ahead, I go into this with running shoes. I know I have high heels on right now, but there will be running shoes. And my eyes are wide open. We know there are challenges in our school district, but they are solvable. We need to rebuild our trust, regain stability, restore confidence, and improve our student achievement. I am undaunted about this task ahead because we have potential in our youth, the richness and resolve of our community, and the passion and potential of our staff. The school district, I know, can be successful for the right reasons, and I'm optimistic that we can regain our footing and our stature. In my view, we are the ones we have been waiting for. On my first day, I'll be in our schools, leading the path forward, engaging, empowering, and exploring. In an open letter to the community, I'll send a personal message to our students, parents, and families, and I'll match that with a personal welcome and thank you and open letter to our staff. Out of the gate, I'll continue to work with the legislature to close out the legislative session. I'll be working with our central office, looking at our talents and our placement. I'll be working with the board collaboratively to craft our core pillars for student success, prepare the rollout of a transition plan that will include building a new school district strategic plan and matching it with an operational plan. It will take our entire community to lift up and make the Clark County School District our destination school district. In closing, again, I want to thank from the bottom of my heart the School Board of Trustees for your faith in me. My aim is to make you proud of the wisdom that you made in this selection. Thank you. You all know I'm a hugger.
Superintendent Ebert, congratulations.
Thank you, Tiffany.
So one of your discussions has been a big part of the funding and everything. We're looking at budgeting. Some schools did have a little bit of a tighter budget when they received those budgets on January 15th. What is the goal? Will you be going to Carson City, or what is the goal to make sure that not only is there more school money coming into the district, but also so that schools don't have to make a lot of cuts moving forward?
Absolutely. You know, I've spent my entire career looking at, or my career coming back home, right, for funding. We know where we are as a state. We made great progress during the last legislative session. We've already, though, seen and forecasted that it's not going to be the gains that we had the last legislative session. But continuing to show and having the proof points that the investment, this team, interim superintendent Brenda Larson-Mitchell, the retention rate is 30% higher in our school district because of those funds. So we have proof points that money does matter. And so we'll continue to fight to make sure that we gain additional funds for student success.
Next question. Katie? No?
Superintendent, now you mentioned you had running shoes on, you're starting the 14th. How soon should we actually see some of those changes implemented and some of those issues that you mentioned you're going to be addressed?
Yeah, that's a great question. So meeting with the staff first thing on Monday morning, going out into the schools. What's nice is I do have a depth and breadth already knowledge of the Clark County School District. And so working with the trustees, making sure that we have, again, the right staff in the right positions for our student success. Being out in the schools, being out in the community, and with our business partners, making sure that we have a path forward. Again, closing out the legislative session. There are a lot of moving parts right now, and we're going to tackle all of them, but we're going to be strategic in making sure that we hit a couple really hard and that we show to our community that we are on the road for success.
Hi, Sasha with Channel 8. Congrats to you.
Thank you.
On a more personal note, this is a historic day. You were the first woman and first Asian American woman to permanently run the school district. What does that mean to you?
Yes, thank you. You know, I pinch myself. I mean, I know a lot of people say that. Sometimes I think about it deeply, and then other times it's like, hey, I'm just got my running shoes on and I'm going to work. But what is so important is we know, 50% of the population female, 50% of the population male. We need to make, this is, as you noted, a first. Being AAPI is, part of my core, I know it, but we're serving all children, and the diversity of this board. Look at how beautiful this board is. And now being the first female, I'm just honored, and I take it very seriously to make sure that I role model for other young women that see themselves and want to be the next superintendent.
Proceed.
Superintendent Ebert, I was wondering, how do you see yourself boosting student achievement in the district, given all the financial uncertainties that you face, at the state level, like you mentioned, there's a likelihood that there won't be as many increases in per pupil funding, and also at the federal level with all these changes by the Trump administration. How do you navigate those to still, achieve your goal of increasing student achievement?
Yeah, Marcio, thank you for the question. Very first thing that I noticed in preparing, right, in interviewing and speaking with our educators, our administrators, our bus drivers, first and foremost, they want to be empowered. They want to make sure and know that we trust them to do their jobs. There's going to be a huge shift in how they feel, right? When you're empowered to do your work, working with each other to lift children up, making sure too, tight communication. During my interview, I spoke about the trustees. They were making appointments before to get into schools. They need to be in our schools. They need to speak with teachers. They need to speak with our children. They need to speak with families so that they understand what is transpiring. When they make a decision on policy for 300,000 children, for a community that is almost 3 million, we need to make sure that they know what's going on in the schools. And so opening up our schools, making sure that we're transparent, empowering our educators, empowering the entire system to do what it's built to do. I was part of the system before where that happened, and I know that we will continue on that road to move forward.
Last question, Hillary.
Other than funding in general, what will you advocate for at the legislature on behalf of CCSD?
Pre-K. Pre-K. This is the year of pre-K. Making sure that our earliest learners have access to the supports so they have a great start onto education. At the elementary level, read by grade 3. We've made great gains. I was actually in an elementary school earlier this week where they have their data up. 75% of their students are on track for their individual growth targets. That's huge. When we're looking at the data, making sure that we're lifting them up and celebrating the data as well. At the middle level, mathematics. At the high school level, our career, technical education, workforce, the whole system in those areas, making sure with a can-do attitude that we can support, we can lift up our children, we can be successful. We will be successful. All of those pieces coming out are what will happen.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now can I give you a hug?